Hello, friends. Welcome to my 29th LinkedIn Live and YouTube session. This is a very special session, and I'll tell you more about it. But first, I want a quick check that all our friends who wanted to join our live on LinkedIn and YouTube, I can see some comments already on LinkedIn. Farooq sir, thank you very much. Pooja, Abhijit. If somebody is live on YouTube, can you just give me a quick hi or tell me where you are from so that I know that you are live on YouTube and it is working. Sometimes these connections don't work. I've been in a very awkward situation once for a live, and LinkedIn live itself didn't go live. So they don't want to be there again, but at least LinkedIn is working. So I'll tell you now why this is special, right? So this is special because I have invited three very special guests on specifically the topic of being a creator on LinkedIn, right? So normally I talk about a subject matter. I bring guests on leadership, customer experience, related matters, particularly on quality as well, because that's my domain. So you already know my series on Manage Better. You already know my series on Qualitist. This is like a third series, you can say, where I will bring top LinkedIn creators from India and you know ask them to share their secret sauce, right? So free, right? So what else can you expect? So this will be one of those kind of sessions where we will all learn. I will also learn along with you. So feel free to ask your questions, and we will put in those questions to the guests. So you might ask, how do I know these are the top creators? Right? So LinkedIn on 17th May this year, a few days ago, released its first list of 200 creators, which are part of the LinkedIn Creator Accelerator program. So those of you who don't know about this program is designed to upscale or scale up, important and already doing well creators. So LinkedIn has done the research for me. I am not doing that research for you. They have done. These three people or the guests that I have are from that group, right? And happy to have them here. I already now see, YouTube also working. So fantastic. So time for the first guest. I bring to you Ayushi. Ayushi is she is probably the youngest on the lot in the 200 odd creators, and this is the power of the LinkedIn creator platform that I wanted to share. That it does not matter whether you are a student, whether you are an accomplished professional, whether you are midlife crisis or whatever, wherever you are. So Ayushi is a second year student at IIM Rohtak, Indian Institute of Management Rohtak. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ayushi, right? Second year, right?
Yeah, second year
So,
IPM
so in the integrated
program.
MBA
Yeah.
program, right? So that's a 5-year program. Many of you know about the program, and she's built a wonderful personal brand in the just a little more than last 1 year or so, maybe even not even 1 year, right? And has thousands of followers, as well as, apart from followers, followers is not probably the important metric. Is that the content that she produces has a very wide appeal and reach. So welcome, Ayushi. Any opening comments from you?
Thank you, first of all, Anshuman. This is my first LinkedIn Live, and it couldn't have been better than you and sharing the stage with the guests.
My pleasure. That's Ayushi for you. We'll get come to the questions in some time, but let me bring another guest, Sanskriti. So Sanskriti is works with Grant Thornton, and which is a professional services firm, and is from the Sri Ram College of Commerce. And her specialty is, of course, bringing, helping people build their LinkedIn brand. And like everybody else also on this call, very new to LinkedIn, but has exploded in her reach and growth. Welcome, Sanskriti. Any opening comments for us?
First of all, a very, very good evening to everyone. And I would like to thank you, Anshuman, for inviting us here and for the kind words. So, I'm Sanskriti Pandey, and I'm the CA finalist who has been creating content over LinkedIn for a little over a year. And the kind of response, the appreciation, the support, and the recognition I've got is incredible. So, it would be very wrong of me if I don't mention it right now how much I owe to LinkedIn. So, like, how cool is that if someone in your office just comes up to you and says, "Hey, are you Sanskriti?" Right? I mean, I've seen you at LinkedIn and I love your content. Or your college friend would call you up from Bangalore and would tell you how proud she is of you because some of her colleagues just showed her my post and they were like, "She's your friend, right?" So yeah, this is all so overwhelming. And to add cherry to the cake came this program. I mean, what's better than to collab with the platform to which I owe so much? So, heartiest congratulations to all four of us and the others who have made it here. So, thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you once again, Sanskriti. We will go to the third guest. Uttam Gupta is also from Sriram College of Commerce. So this is a little bit of a mafia here. So we'll have to be a little careful, Ayushi. We can't let
Yeah.
these two hijack the session. We are a team, right? So Uttam, of course, is, I would say, little ahead in the kind of a self growth kind of a journey. He's co-founder of Growth School. Many of
Sorry,
you,
sorry to stop, but I'm not the co-founder. I'm the first founding member. So
first founding member, fantastic, even better for me. So the and those of you who don't know about Growth School, you must, right? So Growth School is of course set up by Vaibhav Sisinti. Vaibhav is the original, the LinkedIn OG, you can say, and he created the explosion that we all are part of now. And he's been around a few years in this space, and of course does many other things. Growth School is a offshoot of that same philosophy that we can learn from each other. We don't need formal education, we need experiential education, and so on. So I would strongly recommend that you check growthschool.io. .io is extremely important, new kind of domain name. So with that, welcome all once again. Uttam, you have any opening words or anything to share with us?
yeah, I would just like to quickly introduce myself. Hi guys, this is Uttam Gupta. I am a growth marketer, currently building Growth School as first founding member. As Anshuman said, I'm based out of Bangalore and I write content around growth marketing and my learnings of building this startup, right? And I'm super excited for this session because writing on internet and LinkedIn has changed my life, and I know so many people for whom it has worked. So I'm really excited to share my learnings, the things that have worked for me and for other people. And definitely it has a lot of potential to change things for you as well. So I'll just say stick around for a while, right? Everyone is going to share a lot of value bombs. So yeah, that was all. And if you already know Grow School or me, drop a boom in the chat because I love to see that one.
So this chat is going to boom now. But Okay, let's get cracking. We have quite a few guests, including one of the, original 200 for the US batch creators. Ian Barkin is on the show on LinkedIn. So he was part of the original 200 in the US that were created by LinkedIn. So actually, I think US was 100, actually, not even 200. So
Yeah.
anyway, we are where we are. I'll get into the first question, and everybody in the call, I keep saying call, that's the corporate world that I live in. So everybody on this show, in about some time, 15, 20 minutes, maybe half an hour, you can start dropping in your questions. All the tough questions we'll ask these people, and the easier ones I will take. So don't worry, all will get answered. But the first question, which I had prepared, for each one of you, and we'll go one by one to each one. None of us actually joined or started writing content or producing content on LinkedIn for the purpose of getting more followers or for the purpose of those kind of numbers, right? So everybody might have different purposes, but certainly the purpose was not to get followers and actually become famous on LinkedIn. What was your purpose? And let's go with in an order. So Ayushi, what was your purpose? What is your story? How did you come to this? And of course, we know the current, but we want to know the past.
Yeah. So Anshuman, it is, I guess, because of the lockdown. I would thank COVID, but somehow that resulted in me being consistent, me being active on LinkedIn. So I entered college when the COVID was at its peak. We had never seen college till now. I haven't seen. my campus. So I happened to explore a lot of social media handles and LinkedIn, of course. That time I just had one platform. I was on LinkedIn. That's it. And because I love talking to people, sharing, reading, writing, I this platform enticed me so much, because here you see I found a lot of people, like Uttam said, startup founders, top notch people, VPs, AVPs, even they write. And then I used to see people like Sanskriti, people like a lot of students from BU also writing. So I could find a proper place for my voice where there was no bar or no mark to enter. And then everyone had it, everyone is allowed to have some opinion, get some opinion of their own. So that is how I entered LinkedIn, and that is how I grew. And initially, like you said, I didn't do it in the motto of what will happen next. I just went through the flow. I just wrote whatever I felt like, whatever used to come to my mind, because I was into writing. Getting content ideas and not was not a struggle. Rather, the struggle was writing, at least going and hitting the post button, because you get bogged down by people who would judge you, especially when I was the only one from an institute to do so. And when you don't have an example to show, this thought keeps bogging you down. What if you are wrong, or what if you don't do it well, or you don't do it good enough? So breaking that was a challenge for me, then to hit the then to get come up with content ideas. So my journey has been like this. And I would say anyone who wants to grow on LinkedIn, I give this tip to people. First, initially, just write, just get that flow, just go on, and then you'll improve. You don't need to narrow down initially the first part itself. That would be my take.
Thanks very much, Ayushi. And I think it shows, the way, the confidence
Hmm.
and the articulation that you had. It
Yeah.
already shows that, you've been into writing. And it's, for everybody in the audience, the lesson from this, quick 1 minute is that you are already good at something, but you need a platform. You are switching the platform in this case. You're not starting something totally new. It is actually switching a platform. So, Sanskriti, same question. You know, how did this all start? You obviously didn't want to, just write on LinkedIn, right? So, what is the driver?
No. Okay, so this is gonna sound funny, but I didn't even know that I could write. So I knew that I wrote a few Facebook posts, and I remember my dad appreciating me for one particular one. But I never knew that I could do something in writing. So there are some things not that happen in life which are not planned. LinkedIn is something like that with me. So it happened organically. Like I'll explain. So ever since my childhood, I have been a student who is present in a class. So no matter what, the classmates and the professors would end up knowing my name by the end of the day because I don't shut up. That's what exactly happened. I guess this phenomena got replicated here where I saw LinkedIn as a platform with audience and I could write and express, and I did. And I got noticed eventually. So this is inherent to my nature. So this just happened organically and I just went with the flow. So it would be safe to say, yeah, I never intended to be a content creator. I never even thought about the tag or the followers or anything. I mean, I just wanted to write and I wrote. But thank God I did that because I've been doing it my whole life and I never realized it. I mean, I've been guiding people, students, like from dealing with teenage problems to maybe helping them choose their careers. So I've done this whole life and now I'm doing it with an audience which is huge and correct for me, which I never had before. So eventually, I realized that this is something I can see myself doing even 20 years down the line. So I'm so glad I came into this, and God has its own plans. So that's what something happened like me. And now I know I have another goal in my life to be a career coach or a life coach, and I know I'm gonna do it because that's something I love. I mean, I'm doing CA. I love doing, like, I love my job. I love this course, but yes, I have another love in my life too now, and I'm definitely gonna pursue it thanks to LinkedIn. So
Fantastic. I
that's it.
think, very rare to, see that passion. So I'm glad. I'm sure if you looked around and asked this question to all the 200 content creators in the group, we'll get pretty similar answer. And 200 is a number. The overall number might be 2,000, 20,000, and more. We
Right.
There is an element of luck that we are in that 200, and we are using that luck now. Uttam, um, same question. How did this start? Of course, your profession and your association with Grow School and the whole LinkedIn journey, and that gives you a slight head start because the power of doing this, unlike others like us who stumbled upon the power, right? So, what is
Yeah.
your story?
But the story is interesting because I guess I am where I am because I started something with LinkedIn. So the story goes like this: I was in college and I was not at all aware about what is LinkedIn, what to do with it. And in fact, I remember one day my friend asked me to make a page, company page on LinkedIn for something, and I told her I don't understand all of this thing. I don't want to make it. I was at that position, right? So but I was in SRCC, I was in finance college, and like Sanskriti can confirm this that in our college, either you become a management consultant or you go into finance. Nothing in between, right? But
Like
I chose,
absolutely.
right? But I wanted to go into marketing. I chose that I will go into marketing and growth. But how will I go there? Because there are no opportunities. You won't get internships. You won't get placement. But so the challenge for me was I realized that I want to do something but I do not have opportunities. I thought I need to create opportunities for myself. How will I create? And then I got to know one of my senior had just started posting on LinkedIn and he helped me to make profile. And I made that profile with the intention that all right, I don't have opportunities but I'll create for myself. Because on LinkedIn I realized like CEOs, founders, managers hang out, and that is a place where I can network. I don't come from a background that I already had network. I needed to build it. Where I could build, LinkedIn was the place. So I started writing on LinkedIn without having any clarity, and I was very very sincere in my approach that I really wanted to learn it the right way. I'll do it. And that's when, since I had started, that's when I met Vaho, who is now like my elder brother, my go-to person and everything. It's been more than 2 years. And when I started my journey, when I met Vaho, when I was just kind of exploring, I was about 700, 800 followers. And since then, the journey has been crazy. So that's
Awesome.
how it started.
Awesome. I think none of you will ask me this question, but I'll also answer this question. Unlike you all, my journey is slightly different, and I wanted to bring out this contrast very hopefully for all our audience is that you neither have to be young nor a little aged like me. You just have to have some content and the will and desire to share, right? That's about it. And everybody has content. If you're telling me you don't have stories in life, you are not observing anything around you, then you probably are on Mars, or some other planet, right? So you are not on Earth. So I don't buy that at all. Quite a few people come to me and say that, hey, I do want to write, I think I can write, but I have no stories, I have nothing to tell and nothing to share. I mean, really, that's not true. So uh, I got my first LinkedIn invite to connect in 2005, I think. So that's how old LinkedIn is and how old I am, right? So, in first 5 years, I keep telling this to everybody. 7 years, it was totally dormant. I just created mainly to make sure that I'm connected with the people I was working with and so on, right? So then around 2010 or so, I got approached on LinkedIn for a job, and that opened my eyes. I said, "Look, this thing I was just, this was total bakwas for me." But actually, somebody has approached me for a job, quite indirectly, and then I started taking it a little bit more seriously, but still not posting much. Occasionally something. And in those days, LinkedIn used to also celebrate your happy birthday type. So you would also get. You might not know all this, but it was quite a chaotic thing. So yeah, long story short, last 3 4 years, like some of you, I don't have lockdown excuse, but this my journey started a little before lockdown, where I was in between jobs and I started posting something, and things started clicking, and I started enjoying writing. And over a period of last maybe 2 years or so, that journey is probably similar to your journey. The only difference is that because from a quality professional, quality management background, most of my posts are related to that. Some of them may not connect with every audience, but that's okay. So you don't write only for the audience; you also write for yourself, right? So that's pretty much it. We are getting a lot of love. And even from Indonesia as well. So Anita from Indonesia, uh, this is for me. She's a regular reader, and she reads my post definitely to the last sentence, and which is where the twist is usually there. So quite a few questions coming in. Let them come in, guys. Thank you very much. But I'll move to the next question, and the next question for Uttam actually. Uttam, why should actually even people consider sharing content? We all talked about our story. Everybody has a reason. Much of this reason was like because we were writing, like Ayushi said, we were writing. Sanskrit said, she could post something. I also said I was a quality in the quality profession, so I had something to share. You are related to a upskilling kind of a school and movement, so you had something to share. But that may not be true for everybody. Why should people waste time on this
Correct.
platform and even try to share anything on this?
Correct. Firstly, I'll start with how does it even help, right? You need to have reason for doing anything. What does it give you, right? I'll start with that. Most important thing that LinkedIn does or any social media platform today does is it gives you leverage, right? Leverage to talk to anyone, reach out to anyone, and like be out there and create opportunities for yourself, right? If you're just sitting in a room, you're surrounded in a like probably in a small town, a small city, how many people you know? Probably 10, 20, 30 people. How can you expand that? How can you create opportunities? How you can build leverage where you can reach out to anyone, create opportunities, right? That can only happen when you are out there, when you are writing, when you are speaking and conveying something. So why you should do you, it will build leverage for you to do anything and everything that you want in life. Give you an example. COVID happened, a lot of people lost their job, but if you would have been active on LinkedIn, if you would have a better network, right, you wouldn't have faced much difficulty in cracking another opportunity because you know people, right? You are already out there, you are already talking. So it helps that you can build transition into careers, build multiple income streams, all of those things happen. So leverage is one thing. Second is that network happens, like you know a lot of people, so it helps in a way, in ways that you cannot even imagine, right? For example, you are in a job and after a while you realize you want to build a startup. You won't have customers, you won't have investors, you won't have people to help, but if you have a network, it will help, right? Third is if you are a professional, right, it will help you in your career growth. Like Sanskriti was saying, in her job place, people recognize her because she's out there, she's doing something. You stand out from the crowd. Aishi stands out from other students because she's out there, she's doing something, right? So that happens. That is the third reason. Fourth reason is little personal. Today, since the creator economy is booming, everyone is consumer, right? But as human beings, as human species, we have been creators, we have been inventors, right? We all have a need of creating something. How can you satisfy that? By being out there, by creating something in whatever form you are comfortable, whether it's video, writing, or whatever works for you. So that is the reason why you should start. Now, the other thing I would like to say is that very important, like this is also a reason for you to think of LinkedIn or any platform is, I'll ask a question in the chat if you can answer. What if, like, how do you know that Anshuman is someone who has an expertise in quality assurance? Like, how do you know that? Answer in the chat. You will tell because of it.
Yeah,
Like, what
I,
if Anshuman starts posting memes? What will be your perception of him? You'll think
yeah,
that he's just chilling and shit posting and doing like that. So what does it tell? Like our social digital footprint, what we talk about on any platform, makes a perception for other of who you are, right? That is why you need to create content for things you want to be known for, right? People won't know what you know until you tell them. I won't know you know about certain topic. People won't know I know about marketing unless I tell them,
Yes.
by writing or through video, right? And the second important thing is, there's a quote that we used to hear that, right? The books you read today and the people you surround yourself is how you become, right? And today those people are your network on the internet, because we spend time on internet, on reading stuff, on talking to people. So the kind of content you follow, kind of people you learn from, is how you will become. So those are the things, few points I will give. Hope it's
No,
audible.
fantastic. I think coming from somebody who's already created a space for himself, it's important. And I'm quite sure I'm not asking this question to each one of you, but the answer might actually be quite similar. And my own answer would be very similar because I started more like, this is me. And like you said, Uttam, that the world is a crowded place today. If you don't tell people who you are, what you are standing for, what is your expertise, nobody cares and shouldn't care, right? Because there are enough and more people. So,
Plus,
one for the
Anshuman,
sure.
I feel today we are not just known for our skill. Uttam is not just known for his marketing and growth skills. Sanskriti is not known for her finance and the CA because she is a CA. Now we have a social circle as well. We don't realize that this is an add-on. This will always and always be an add-on when you have a growth. You are not you, but along with you, when someone hires you or you work from for someone for a startup or you build something of your own, along with you comes your audience. Now that is an asset and people don't realize it. Kahin bhi jao aap, start something of your own, join some company, that will be an add-on. Always, this is what people don't realize.
Fantastic. And I have a funny anecdote on this that at least this gave me a little bit respect at home. And when you have grown-up kids and a wife of 22 years, so you need some respect at home. At a Udupi restaurant, you can say I was buying dosa, masala dosa, and all for a Sunday morning breakfast, and I was shabbily dressed. Just round the corner. You go and get, and somebody taps on me on my shoulder. My son is with me, and that is the special part. And this guy asked, "Are you Anshuman Tiwari?" And I said, "Yes." Oh, I see your videos. I'm such a fan. Fantastic. And I didn't care about my reaction. I was super happy with my son's reaction. That finally, he thought that there was his dad does something useful. So, and I just wanted, before we get to the next question, I wanted, you know, something that Papa CJ, who's one of India's top comedians and executive coach, globally renowned, saying that I wish I had the clarity of thought and maturity that Uttam Sanskriti and Ayushi have when I was their age. And Papa CJ, the way you talk, you are still their age, so don't worry. You are young.
Exactly the best.
It's wonderful to see and fill one with hope for the future. That's my uncle comment for the day. And so I am the uncle in this. Don't take away my spot. Shine on your wonderful people. Fantastic. So thank you, Papa CJ, firstly for joining the session and for your, such a generous comment. Quite a lot of other comments and questions already coming in, but I wanted to quickly move on also to some prepared questions I had. And this one is for Ayushi. Ayushi, so, you know, all of us will definitely say one thing, that being consistent on LinkedIn, and we are specifically talking about creation on LinkedIn today, being consistent on LinkedIn is a challenge, and you seem to have cracked that. You are quite consistent, at least a post a day, sometimes more. And, sometimes even the formatting and other things, there's a pattern one can see. You are telling stories, you are telling anecdotes, and, there is a format. And more than that, there is a consistency, which many people I talk to, including myself, we are not able to get to. So, what is your secret sauce? So Ayush's secret sauce for being consistent on LinkedIn.
Yeah, thank you for the question, first of all, Anshuman. So, whosoever is seeing this live, now don't see the Ayushi here, the Uttam here, the Sanskriti here. Remember, they had a day one when they had their first post done. Now, I think all of us would agree when you are starting out, you shouldn't keep yourself in boundaries. 1 week, 7 posts, chalo, 150 followers extra. The moment you keep yourself in boundaries, give yourself this check marks, this tick, 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 you need to go up, you would be pressurized to create content. And this is something which will kill your authenticity, which would kill your thinking process, and eventually you would not be able to post. So that is one thing. When I started out, I didn't had any target. There was no competition. I just used to see Vyom, Lubna, and people of my age, and I used to feel okay. They are also student, maybe a year older to me. If they can do, why can't I? And I used to just post for my sake, without expecting anything or without having any targets as such for me. So this is one thing. Don't keep targets for yourself. First, your motto should be to be comfortable with it. You know, to be to be comfortable with the platform. First of all, to not to be bogged down by what people would think, what your friends would think, why you are the only one in your college doing so. Like none are doing. That's fine. But if you have a reason, if you have a belief, then just do it. I did the same thing. I knew, and also I didn't used to get bogged down by content ideas. I didn't had a niche. I used to share from my experience. Initially, no one and should not know should no one should actually have a niche, because that again constricts your thinking process. Initially, it will be just to be comfortable with the platform. That is what I had done in my initial years. No target set, no niche. I used to write for myself because I had taken inspiration from students of my age, and then people used to engage as well. So these are the kind of pointers I would say which help me remain consistent. The more you keep yourself within boundaries, within some check marks, the more your consistency will reduce. Yes, those things work when you reach a certain level of comfortableness, but before that, no. That would be my take.
Fantastic. I think Ayushi, so the lesson I at least draw, and I saw both the others, speakers as well, nodding through this, is that don't worry too much about content format, everything when you start off. Keep your eyes open, have an observation, you know, find the insight that you are looking for, and then share that insight, and everything else will follow. Most people I also speak to actually uh, don't start, and they don't start because they are too worried about the format and the style and the correctness and everything else, and nobody won anything if they didn't start. So in this case it is even more true, because forget the followers, forget everything else. I have noticed, my own writing style has significantly improved over the last 1 year when I've become a little bit more consistent. When I now have an idea, I know exactly how I'm going to construct it. I spend less time. I have very clear thoughts on the hook line, the punch line, the end line. You know, those things are already emerging in my mind. But that happens, like Ayushi said, after some time. When it started, if you read all our posts of about 1 year, 2 years ago, uh, you will not see any of this. Right? So that's my request to all of us: learn from Ayushi, who's a recent starter, as I said, student. She has looked around for inspiration, observation, and then shared. Um, Interesting comment from Dr. Tithi Bhatnagar. She is a leadership professional and a senior faculty at Jindal Group of Institutions. And interesting session. Congratulations to all. Fantastic, Dr. Tithi. Thank you for joining. Quite a few other people as well. And Papa CJ is pulling my leg, but I'll get back to him later. Right. So maybe his punishment is that he will have to be on this show another time, and then he'll behave, right? So we'll do that. But moving on, I think the so the consistency question is broadly answered. There's no secret sauce, like Ayushi said. Your secret sauce is your secret sauce, right? So there is none of us have any special secret sauce. uh, Sanskriti, next question to you. You, of course, have turned your LinkedIn presence into helping early career professionals and sharing your journey with them and helping them get better, right? So tell us a little bit more about that, so that people who are in that early career stage in this call can can benefit from your presence.
Okay, so first of all, thank you for the question, Anshuman. Okay, so we all are not alien to the fact that the degrees alone are not enough these days to back you the job, let alone your dream one, right? I can't emphasize enough on the fact how crucial soft skills are. And it's very, very saddening to know how many and how much people lack on this front. So when I first started, I wrote about everything and anything, but eventually I realized this is something that I've been doing, as I mentioned earlier, and I would like to continue this. So this is what I do. What I post is actually is a plea, is an urge for all my fellow CA students or other professionals, early professionals, are just starting their careers to grow, you know, to help them in their personality development and their grooming process, like maybe improving their communication skills or including improving their English, which is very, very important. And in fact, I myself, I'm learning in the process. And I want them to know how you carry yourself in the world matters. It's not the old age era, where you just got a degree, you got the job, and you're there for life. No, there's nothing sort of permanence right now. So you need to be updated, you need to change, you need to adapt, and you need to come at par with what's needed now. So that's what I work on. And forget about the interviews. I mean, I get inspired by people who have a powerful and a strong personality. So even how to conduct yourself generally in the society is very, very crucial these days. I mean, everything from a decent behavior to how you are even opening a door, everything matters. So this is what my niche is. And getting back to the actual career professional people, well, see, the fact is the people who are hiring these days are business people, right? They're not doing charity. So obviously, if two resumes are gonna come in front of them who are from the same college, obviously they're gonna pick the person who's gonna offer more in terms of representation, presentability, and communication skills, and everything. The soft skills. That's why they matter. That's why the better candidate ends up getting 100 different offers from 100 different companies, and there are many who don't even get one. And this is such a common practice in our articleship thing, which is a part of our CA curriculum. So when I noticed this, that good people didn't even get into the big firms, they didn't even get one call. And touch wood, I aced every interview I've given till date. So I was like, why not to help others too? They need to know that maybe you have not been brought up in an environment where you can speak English fluently to everyone around you, maybe not in the family or the school. But what's stopping you now? You need to do it right now because it's never too late. So that's my take, and that's what I do basically. So thank you.
No, totally fantastic. Very authentic as well. And in a way, you also answered that how you write. So, which was my first question. The next question actually. I want to move a little bit to explore the fact that a lot of people in this stream, and I'm seeing some of the questions. A common theme seems to be, and Uttam, I'll need your input in this. Is that how do we write? How do we start writing? Right? Ayushi gave a wonderful example that she's more the have mic will speak person, so have pen will write person. Right? Not everybody is, maybe that doesn't have that talent or that inclination. Let's say some people are there who are struggling, right, to write. What is your input for them, or what could you advise to them? Because that's a real group, where, and I've been part of that group. I know, even though I used to always write a little better than others, but it was always a struggle. But any tips on that?
Yes. I'll tell you two challenges people face when they're starting up. One is the challenge of getting ideas. The other is the challenge of feeling like having that, what do we call? We call it like you feel like
Judgment.
an, sorry?
Input.
Being judged. People will judge me because my opinion.
No,
Or we are
I
not
forgot
talking.
that word. I
Lost
forgot
you.
that word. So
No.
I'll tell you the challenge of ideas. How do we solve that? Like when you feel that you don't know what to write, right? When you are just getting started, right? You should learn and write. If you think you don't have anything, just start learning. Start learning in a way that every 2 days you are watching a podcast, every 2 days you are reading an article or something, and then you will share your
And you
learnings.
can write
You don't have to think
offline.
from scratch, right? So that is how you can cope up when you're just starting. You don't need to care about whether it will work on LinkedIn or not. Just learn and write. That will solve the problem of idea. The second problem, feeling like you are not good enough or you don't have credibility to talk about anything. Imposter is the word. Imposter, I was not getting that word. You feel like an
Oh,
imposter. You feel like you are not the right person. How can you talk about it, right? You feel, why should people even read my content? Why they will read, right? So that can be solved with two things, right? Why people read content is because of credibility, right? Now you can bring credibility in two ways. Credibility can be built credibility or it can be borrowed credibility. Now what do I mean by that? One is, for example, you are a founder, you have done a lot of stuff, you already have built credibility. People will listen. You have 5 years of experience, 3 years of experience, they'll listen. Second is leveraging other people's credibility. Now, what do I mean by that? For example, you are just starting up and you want to create content that people will read, right? And this is connected to the first point I said, like learn and write. Second credibility is leveraging other people's credibility. For example, I'll give you an example. If I write that here are 10 rules that I follow in my life, people won't read because I don't have credibility. While if I write, here are 10 rules that Elon must follow that I learned that you can also follow. Won't people read? People will read because you learn from Elon Musk, you learn and you are sharing, right? So that is how you can do. Find ideas, learn, and then share. Second is to make people read. You can leverage other people's credibility. The other examples could be, here are 10 marketing rules that I learned from Seth Godin. People will read because you learned and you are sharing. Those are not your thing, and that's completely fine. That's not copying. You are just sharing your knowledge. That is how you can do when you are just starting. Don't overcomplicate, just do these two things.
Yeah, and Uttam, well said. I think a lot of people struggle with this as well. That they get into this zone that this is not my content, and what they forget also is that this is a sharing platform as well.
Right?
So it's not just a original creation platform; it is also a sharing platform. If 100 people know me, or 1,000, or 10,000 people know me, all of them may not know the others. In fact, that was the you see a logo at the top, in the screen just above my head right now. Manage better, that was the theme of my channel that I started, because I realized towards 2 3 years ago that I had some access to leading professionals in terms of authors, coaches, consultants, which I realize that many people who know me may not have that access. So
Yeah.
I'm actually a bridge. I'm actually a in a way a medium for bringing their message to this 10,000, and maybe it will help. So exactly what you said, become a bridge, become some kind of a
Yes.
sharing person, and it will help.
Just
Yeah,
want to add one thing.
sure,
Like,
sure.
I am sure many people will relate because I thought that as well in the beginning, that I don't have anything original to share, right?
Hmm.
And people think that they don't have original ideas. And I would like to say that don't think of like being creative, creating something new. Because just note this down and put it in front of your wall that everything that was supposed to be said has already been said. Just because people were not listening at that time, it needs to be said again, right? So
Absolutely,
your
yeah.
voice is important. If you can just share your learning, what you are learning, it's important.
Which is a sound concept called amplifying. So we are the amplifiers in some small way. Sanskriti, same question. In a way, all of us have spoken, but maybe we would love to hear your viewpoint as well. If you were to advise, people who are starting writing content on LinkedIn or creating content of any type, audio, video, and other, or like Uttam said, memes as well, right? Any of these content, what would be your advice in a nutshell for such people?
okay. So when it comes to content creating, I'll use two words: relevance and relatability. Basically, I'll tell you how I started. So I started with anything. I was like trying. One day I was posting a quote about from Mahabharat, and another day I was just giving a movie review. Right. So that at that time I had not defined my niche, and in fact I've not done even now. It's just I write about anything and everything according to my vibe also. So what I figured out eventually was relatable. You need to be relatable. So why I'm saying this, once you start creating content, so you'll have to write something that would make me uh, seem like a girl next door, and people can find me approachable, and they can realize that yes, I have also been through the same stuff. And once they'll start relating to me, they'll start listening to me, and once they'll start listening to me and my content would make sense to them, they would start engaging. That's how I think it works. So relatability is the main thing that's a driver for my content. Whatever I post, it should be relatable. But it's not like it shouldn't be like, okay, fine, I went to watch Bulbulaya the other day and it was great. Yeah, it's relatable. Many of the people must have done the same, but no, it's not relevant, right? So the content must add value to the person consuming it. So that's the one thing I do. Whatever, whoever spends a minute or a two on like reading my content must gain something from it. Of course I can't do it every time, right? But then at least it should make the person smile. you know the heartwarming content and light humor can happen like sometimes it can happen too. But otherwise, whatever you write, it should actually add value to the person's life, because that's what you're doing here. What, like, if you are making a life better, make everyone else's too. At least you can try to do that. So that's what I do. I mean, if I find a post relatable, I hit the like button. That, yeah, I know I have been through the same. And what would be better than to provide a solution for even a simple problem. And if I talk about motivational content, it can be relatable too, because many of my posts approach are to look around yourself and find learnings from simplest things. So you can do it too. Like, it's all about affordability thing. You can afford to do the same thing, so do it. And that's when they'll connect with me and they'll relate to me and they'll actually like reading my content again and again. So that's what I do. So that's my take. Thank you.
Fantastic. I think I'll take the relevance and relatability tip from this. And so, time for some questions from the audience. I have tried to select a few. So, Tarun Kohli is wanting to know what kind of content you feel is more popular among your followers and segmentation of your followers, age group, students, or executives. So, Tarun, I mean, um, I don't know how to take this question because all of us have some kind of segmentation. Like if you see my audience, because of the fact that I've been working for 25, 27 years, many will be ex-colleagues or current colleagues or people I know or people whom I work with, people I know. So their relatability to me is different from maybe relatability for Uttam, for Ayushi, or for Sanskriti. But one thing is common, like Sanskriti, I think very beautifully put, the relatability and relevance is extremely important. If I can't give in my post something, some aha moment, some smile, something special, something unique, then I better not post it, because maybe it's not going to work. But the flip side also is that, and that, some of the posts that I thought that this is not going to get one like, this is the worst I have written, actually explodes. So sometimes you also don't know what will go ahead. As long as you are in your own space and boundary, that should work. I totally agree with that, that we have a space and we will try and be in that. But any one of you want to take this question as well? Apart from me, of course, I hijacked the question a little bit. Anyone wants to take? Ayushi, would you like to take this? And do you see any segmentation or anything that works better with one was, or do you even have a segmentation? Because you may not have. Like I don't see
So
a segmentation in my followers.
yeah. So, if I would talk about my community, it is based on students, mostly students and a few professionals. I have seen people who want to build a community in and around professionals, so they don't accept connection requests from students or someone who hasn't entered the job or the corporate scenario. So I do have examples of people doing so, building up the community according to their wish and their needs and their requirements. But for me, no, I haven't had a segmentation as such. Because I write more, yes, Anshuman, this might happen because you write about corporate or about from experience. Your community automatically builds up with people in and around your content. Because I write a lot about students from experience about college life, etc., automatically my community gets built around my own age group. I think the same goes for Sanskriti and Uttam as well. This happens.
Oh, absolutely, and I can vouch for that because initially I used to write primarily around quality and management lessons that I've learned in a long career. I found that people who resonated with that content obviously had similar experiences. That's why they are resonating, right? So, somebody who's starting in their career may not resonate with the person's content, which is 25 years experience. May not resonate, and that doesn't mean that this experience is right or that experience is wrong. It is just that it is right at that moment with that context, and that's okay. Very quickly
I
trying to take some
I would
comments.
like to add one thing.
Sure, sure,
Ansh,
sure, sure.
I just wanted to add one thing. Right. So basically, I'm a CA student, right? So I do have over 25K followers, but I know 80% of them are from the CA community. So it
Hmm.
happens thanks to your credentials also. And since this happened, I believed it was my duty to actually do something for my CA community too. So you'll find that if you'll open my page, it will say it talks about chartered accountancy first. So that's also how my content kept going into this niche too. So yeah, it does
Fantastic.
happen thanks to the credentials too.
Binati's story share is about a framed point of view. Of course, have something to say about it. Anyone wants to say that the concept of story or having a point of view around that? Some of you did share that having a story and then building a point of view. So, Binati, I think we have partly taken your question. I'll move to another one. Um, so just to make it more generational, this is my father also on the live stream. So you can see how many generations are in this call. Uh, okay. Uh, Emmanuel has a difficult question. If everyone becomes a creator, wouldn't that be chaotic? So, Uttam, you want to take this? You were shaking your head reading this. So, anything?
Yeah. Firstly, not everyone can become creator. It's not that easy. Once you start, you realize that. That is one. Second is that everyone can have small communities, right? We humans have been operating like communities since we have been in existence. So each creator will have their own community. So it won't get like chaotic as such, and you should not even think about if you want to become, you should start. And there can be two types of creators: selfless creator and selfish creators. You have to be somewhere in between, because selfless creators are who are just posting things for themselves, like whatever they want to, right? But you have to be, and that are selfish creators, sorry, selfless creators who are just creating for others. But both are not, sustainable. You have to be in somewhere in between. You are also satisfying your creative desire, creating something that you really want to, but you are also giving value what people want. So you can be a creator, and you can build your community, and everyone can do that, I believe, because we are creating economy is just starting, like we are not even at the peak. So there's a huge potential.
I also want to add one thing. I'm so sorry.
Sure.
I'm interrupting
No,
again and
no,
again. Okay,
go
so
ahead.
according to me, there are four types of people on LinkedIn. So first is the first part of the people actually post genuine things, and these are the creator economy. The creator community, not economy. The second niche would be the people who are just trying to become creators. They're not even originals. They just post for the sake of posting and get followers and stuff, but they don't accept. They don't. Everyone has a brain and they realize what's going on. Third would be the people who don't post, or they'll post very occasionally, but comment so much that they get noticed. So, and fourth would be the people who are dormant. We don't even know they exist. So, according to my analysis, I actually sat one day because I wanted to write post on this matter, and I realized that the first two kinds of people now are like 5% of the total type. So yeah, there won't ever be like a chaos, because no, not many people actually try to be creators. There are many people who just like to listen and watch. So there won't any be chaos.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sanskriti. We are all trying to do something in this. I was worried about this question, but on a serious note, this is true for every profession. When anybody starts running as well, you don't think that you will, 10,000 people running in TCS 10K, and only one or two will be in the or few percent will be under the 1 hour mark, which is a very good mark. So this is true for every profession. So I won't be too worried, Emmanuel, and you shouldn't be as well. Madhav has an interesting question: is posting content more about quality content consistently, or anything in addition to that too? I think partly we answered that, Madhav, through these questions. But anyone wants to take this question, or we move on?
Quickly, I can add, when
Sure.
you are just starting, it's not about quality. Don't even think about quality, because then you will chase perfection and never post. Starting me, you can just focus on the quantity, probably focusing just posting a post daily or in 2 days. Focus on quantity and not on quality. But once you move and you start taking it seriously, then you have to balance it, right? With this question, it also gives me an idea that I would really want people today to walk away with a execution plan and not just gyan that we are giving, right? So I would recommend that a 3 month plan for you, and that plan will be, it's a 3 step process that I tell to anyone who wants to start. First step is just get started, as Aishu was also trying to highlight that. Get started. For first 30 days, focus on getting started, which means get habitual of that platform. Start spending time, start reading posts, start engaging. Today, no one asks you to go to Instagram. You go and you just create content without any extra efforts, because you are habitual. You are very familiar with the platform. So first 30 days, just focus on uh, getting started. At that, in those 30 days, just try posting anything and everything that you want to, right? To come out of that barrier of posting, right? And start engaging. Next 30 days, you have to get going. Now you have started, get going. Now in this phase, you will start creating content a little more seriously. You will start posting a post every day or once every 2 days, right? You have to keep up that momentum. Now next 30 days, which is the third part, that is where you get better. So you get started, you get going, and then you get better on the third segment of 30 days. And in that phase, you start focusing on, all right, what is my objective? Now I'm taking seriously. Do I need to have certain objective? What kind of post do I want to create? You can identify 10 people from LinkedIn that are inspiring, that are in your niche, that they create the same kind of content that you want to create. Copy from them, learn from them, observe. So that is the phase where you try to improve things, and not before that. If you try to do that before that, you will just stop and you will just start chasing perfection. So that is what I would like to say. I hope it helps. You guys can add on to that if you want to.
No, I guess something similar. I have this 100-day plan that I suggest to people, which is roughly 3 months as well. That break it in 3 or 4 parts. First absorb, then learn a little bit, start getting active. Just promise yourself 2 or 3 posts a week. That's all.
Yeah.
Don't overpromise every day. Don't overpromise 3,000 character posts. Don't overpromise a video. Don't overpromise an audio. Don't do all that, because it will fail. It's highly unlikely to succeed, and this is true for everything that you're trying to learn. So this is nothing new.
Yeah.
Anything that you want to enroll for a marathon, you want to run 10 kilometers on the first day, the only people making money are the hospital doctors. None of, and the guys who sold you the shoes. So nobody else is going to make money out of that. Same is true here. This is a marathon. You have to get it in steps and keep going. And of course, consistency always helps. So there were quite a few questions, but we are up on time. So let some of the questions go. We had Piero from Italy also join. So I hope, Piero, you were able to get some insights. Thank you for joining. Quite a few of our fellow, creator group people as well. Lots of comments for all three of you. I'm sure some of you can see it on LinkedIn as well. What we'll do, we have not been able to take all the questions. So what we will do is that we will, all four of us are active on LinkedIn. So we'll go back and, of course, see your comments and try and answer wherever the questions were. So with that, I think 1 hour is the time that I took from you, Uttam, Ayushi, and Sanskriti. Thank you very much. And this was a fascinating conversation. I did not realize where 1 hour was, invested. I would say, and I hope the audience also thought this way, because this is a very, deep topic, and it is an emerging topic, it's an evolving topic. So what we say today may change in 3 months' time, in 6 months' time, because we would have learned in that much time, and we are all learning. And one quick point somebody also mentioned, and I think I caught that during the show, is that this topic, today's show, was not about creator economy, right? It is about creator community. Economy one I will do in some maybe a few weeks, where with maybe same audience or same guest speakers, or maybe we'll add to that group. But economy one is slightly different topic, which is about how do you make money from this. Today's topic was not how do you make money from this, right? So that's a completely different topic, and that is a even smaller subset of the people who are creating content. So if the content community is a very, very, very small subset of the people who are on LinkedIn, the people who are making money are even minuscule components. So that's a economy conversation we'll have separately. With that, I will thank all my guests, and of course all the audience, and fantastic audience. A lot of engagement in this show, obviously, because obviously you had questions and comments. With that, I'll let all of you go. Thank you very much, and bye bye till the next live stream, hopefully next week. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.
It's lovely. Thank you for doing this, Anshuman.
Thank you.
Bye bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Sanskriti, Sanskriti, we can see you. Don't worry. I know there's a power cut, but we can see you. Bye bye.
Happens.